I'm back with another video lecture, and today we are going to discuss the repetitive versus acute loads. Majorly, repetitive is same like that chronic loading. Okay, at the same time you can use repetitive or chronic verbs interchangeably. Okay, so majorly what would happen here is you have to focus, or you can just say that you have to study acute and chronic loading and their role in injury. Okay, basically, when we study different types of injuries, okay, related to sports, related to musculoskeletal itself, we can just have to, or you can just say that we have to clear the concept of acute loading and repetitive loading. Okay, understanding this difference basically helps you to identify the major cause of the injury and the guided treatment, or what type of treatment as a physical therapist, as a physiotherapist, you have to give to the patient. Okay, so two types of loading: acute, and second one was repetitive or chronic loading. Okay, you can just use chronic as well. So acute loading happens when a single large force, okay, you remember, one single, a complete large force is applied to a body strong enough to cause an immediate damage to any of the tissues in your body. Okay, so that is basically what is acute loading. The injury is called as acute injury, and the force is called as macro trauma. Okay, now just give an example. Okay, I can just give you an example like falling from a height and breaking your wrist. Okay, if you can just fall from a height and at the end what would happen, breaks your wrist, is basically the example of acute loading. Okay, falling from height, that causes a pressure on your body, and with a single large trauma because you hit the ground and your wrist hits first, or you can just say that your wrist is the first area of the body that touches the ground and bears the major macro trauma, or you can just say that bears the major load on basically wrist joint. So at the end, what would happen? Breaking your wrist. Okay, this is the mirror example. Same like that, you can just take an example of a car accident. Okay, resulting in a any of the fracture of your body. Like just take an example of a femur fracture. Okay, so after a car accident or RTA, what would happen results in a femur fracture because of the macro trauma of any of the object that is present in your car, or you can just or you might have hit any of the object outside of your car in the environmental factors, so you can just say that. Okay, so the majorly key feature is here is damaging occurs instantly after the force is applied. Okay, it doesn't require too much of time. It just occurs instantly. A large amount of force acting on your part of your any part of your body, and at the end results in injury. Okay. Second is the repetitive loading, and also known as chronic loading. So, what would happen in repetitive loading occurs when a small forces are applied over a repetitively. Okay, you can just say that repetitively over time. So, what would happen? The result is basically the chronic injury or the stress injury, and basically, what type of force is micro trauma, because the trauma is basically in a small amount but occurs in a multiple times, or you can just say that the force is acting on your body multiple times. Okay, just take a pen. Okay, and if this is the very lame type of, like, you can just say that layman's term, in a layman's term, you can just take a pen and just pinch it repetitively. What would happen at the end? Your skin ruptures, the microtrauma occur at that area, and the what would happen? The stress or chronic injury. So this kind of trauma is basically also known as caused by any of the external force but repetitively. Same like that, I can just give you an example of take an example of in a physical therapist. Okay, physical therapy, or you can just say that the bones or limb related. So what would happen is basically when you can just say that one step, okay, running, each foot strike applied or force about 2 to 3 times your body weight. Okay, one step is never going to harm your healthy bone. but thousands of repetitive steps can lead to a stress fracture in your lower limb. So that means running itself cannot affect your body, but the repetitions that you are going to perform is at the end results in any kind of fracture in your lower limb. So that means what we have discussed is, because your each foot when your foot is basically on the floor, or you can just say that when you are running, when your foot strikes on the ground, so what would happen is basically your body weighs about 2 to 3 times more than more on that foot. Okay, just say that. So what would happen when a healthy bone cannot harm with 1 2, or you can just say that 10 20 100 steps, but the thousands of repetitions can lead to a stress fracture if your body is not able to bear that. Okay, same like that. What would happen? Damage builds up gradually until the tissue fails itself. Okay, so that means what would happen? Gradually, but at the end results in tissue failing. This is the major concept. Okay, you need to remember that the relationship between load and injury. High force, low repetition is equals to acute injury. Low force, high repetitions is equals to chronic injury. So remember this. This is a very important concept asking in a vivas, in a basically OSCEs, etc. Multiple areas. Okay, you can just ask in a multiple choice questions. Your teachers might have used these kind of examples on a multiple choice questions or other factors as well. Okay, so remember that these are the major key factors that you have to understand that. Okay, so before going towards, or we can just say that before entering to the, okay, we can just highlight that, so you can just find it out on your own book. So majorly the concept of acute or macro trauma is present here, and for the chronic and stress is basically here. So after that we are going to discuss the graph or figure that is 3.10. Okay, so what is happening in this figure? You need to just clear the concept of loading and magnitude at the end, likelihood of injury. So you can just look at this graph. Okay, what is happening on the axis we have taken the frequency of loading, and on the y-axis we have taken the load or magnitude. So the curve shows basically the likelihood of injury. What the general patterns basically shows is that two things. Okay, if the magnitude is too high, but even the first point, or you can just say that the single force, okay, but the magnitude is too high, so that means the injury occurs in this area. Okay, but if the magnitude is low but the frequency is high, then the injury occurs in this area. So both the ends shows, or both these regions where the curve basically deviates, that shows the high chance of injury, or the tissue is on the risk of injury. In between this area, this can be considered as a, sorry for that, this area can be considered as a safe zone. So that means the corners or the ends of the graph shows majorly what is basically the likelihood of injury, or you can say that the if the these this is basically shows the acute or chronic injury. Okay, if the magnitude is high, you know that this is acute injury. If the loading or frequency of loading is high, that means the chronic injury. But at the end of both of them is results in injury, whether that is acute or chronic. So you need to remember that this curve shows this, the likelihood of injury in between this area, the area that is shown here. Okay, this area is basically considered as a safe zone. Okay, to some extent. Okay, to some extent this is a safe zone, but after that this area is basically the more likelihood of injuries occur. So this is all for today. So if you have any query you can ask, and this is all for today, and thanks for watching.